this is Ree here. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate everyone. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. It really helps me a lot. And don't forget to check out my website, paradxastrology.com. I am a professional astrologer. I can help you with anything. And if you'd like to support this channel and would like exclusive videos, please sign up to my Patreon. Okay, let's get into this video. Okay, so I just want to talk about the new moon. And Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra is on March 21st. Because it's ruled by Saturn, this is going to bring us a sense of responsibility. In the first house, we have Jupiter and Mercury, which is great. Because if you have Jupiter in the first house with the moon and the sun and Mercury, it's giving us a sense of optimism. So no matter what we're going through, we're still going to have that optimistic look. Like, okay, it may be bad now, but things will get better. Actually brings us good luck to our body. And that can help with the health of others as well. But that also can be seen as obesity getting worse or people expanding their bodies more than it was before. That could be working out, but that could also be putting on weight. So this is actually for the next 30 days. So that is something to be cautious of. Now, this nakshatra is the back legs of a funeral cot, our exit from this world, but it's the initial stage after death. This is kind of like after everything happened. And it kind of makes sense because it's kind of after the collapse of the banking system. This denotes some kind of transformation that needs to happen. And you can check out my other videos where I really break down the banking system and why it happened. Now, in the picture, it has two snakes. There is a particular deity, the deity known by the name of Uttara Bhadrapada. His particular name translates into the serpent of depths and the serpent that lies beneath the earth. And that is a very deep occult meaning if you study different entities that live within the earth. I won't get into that, but there is a very deep occult meaning with that. The deity is actually responsible for maintaining the fertility of the earth. So it's kind of like what lies beneath the surface. That wisdom will come to us because Jupiter is in the first house. So we're going to start to understand and be communicated to the wisdom that lied beneath the surface. Shiva, the destroyer, which presides over this, has to do with death, transformation, and enlightenment. Something has to die, something has to transform, but we're getting this enlightenment, we're getting this information. Some people, it could be good if you have court cases, some people. Now, it never acts hastily and sometimes it can postpone things. So if you're waiting for something to happen and it needs to be transformed and there's a delay, don't worry about it. That's kind of normal within this 30 days. That could have to do with physical and mental matters as well, because it likes to do everything in a controlled fashion with care and restraint. There are good intentions from this nakshatra, and because it's ruled by Saturn, there can be delays, but ultimately things will work out. You have Jupiter there also giving you a lot of optimism. So this could be good for people who are counselors. This could help them as well. Even if it's delayed, people will be positive about the result. It connects to all sciences, understanding all sciences, astrology, tarot, yoga, numerology, meditation, divination. That's what this is about. Now, it may not be favorable times, but people will be optimistic. But there is a sense of destruction within this, but it does it for your own good. Just like death, right? Everybody dies, but we don't want to talk about it. And you will die someday and you do give up everything you loved. But that's so you can move on. And that's kind of what's happening with a lot of people with finance right now, but it will work out. It's also about, like I said, responsibility because it wants to be fair to all parties. So there could be delays in any matters like that because it wants to clearly check that this is correct. Now, this nakshatra also, it wants to benefit people. It wants to help everyone, but it also ends up benefiting from that. It's usually very fortunate in handling money and it's good with gifts and inheritances and things like that. But I feel like that will be good for with the financial issue, that will be good for the banks, but not good for the citizens. And I'll explain that in a little bit. This one's about cutting off your worldly duties to go seek enlightenment because of the other things going on. If there is some kind of loss financially, remember that if you look inside, all your wisdom is within. So it's just cutting you off from that to bring you to something that's better suited for you. There could be some things that are hidden because of this pada and it's not revealing its findings, but there were findings, but it's not revealing it to the public. So the professions that this has to do with, like I said, anyone in yoga, meditation, astrology, divination, therapists, it's good for that. Counselors, healers, good for that. Occult scientists, monks, charity organizations, researchers, musician, artists, and working in professions requiring any kind of abilities and patience. This could help some people who are unemployed, who are relying on inheritance or legacies or charities. This could help you as well because these gifts can be given to you during this time. This has to do with libraries, temples, and ancient ruins, historic places, holy sites, mountains, caves, the bottoms of lakes, oceans, places like that. And so this is going to help with certain financial dealings. It's going to help with research, meditation, beginning any activities that require support from others. This is a good time because you will be able to attract that good luck and that wisdom from others. But not good for traveling, not good for litigation right now, dealing with enemies, anything that requires anything swift. There could be litigation, but it's going to take a while. Not good for gambling or lending out money. Not a good time. If something is lended out or there's gambling during this time, might not be so good for you. Now, I'm going to talk about the other aspects. So the other aspects, when we look at this, we have Venus and Rahu in the second house of money and possessions. So now there could be some fights. It depends on your chart. Some people will be fighting over money. Some people could be fighting over relationships, possessions with their family. There could be some ego conflicts with that, then some dissolution about the relationship or the money aspect, or maybe the possessions. We thought we had enough possessions, but maybe we didn't, or some problems with that. Obsession with money, an obsession with needing to find a way to make money or possessions. That could come about, but that also could help people out of nowhere get money and possessions. So it depends on your chart, depends on things like that. It could be a new beginning for you financially in a good way, or it could bring you unexpected relationship, or it could bring you unexpected relationship that maybe these people knew your family and came out of nowhere. So there are certain things that can happen that are really good. It could also create conflicts among families. There could be some comparing yourself to others. There could be some fixation, like I said, money and possessions. Maybe your family or your partner is now asking you for money. That could happen as well. And now you feel like, how am I going to get this money? Or you have an upset, you can't stop thinking about it. Or someone offers you an opportunity with money and you become very obsessive about it. That could happen too. So Saturn is going to be in the 12th house. Now, that's a problem because this nakshatra is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is in the 12th house, which can indicate losses from financial dealings as well. But you'll still be optimistic about it, and you'll get some wisdom maybe of what to do about it. There can be losses. This also could be about some people are going towards more meditation and more internal practices. This could be some people are actually traveled overseas. And for the world, it could be dealings with other countries that are far away. There could be losses from countries that are far away as well. And then Saturn is the 11th house ruler in the 12th, right? So the 11th house is your groups and associations. There could be a loss of groups and associations during this time. That will be normal. It doesn't have to be bad. It could just be, maybe you're more to yourself now. Maybe there was an unexpected loss of money, or your friends are asking you for money and then you realize that's not the way you want to go and you lost a friendship. Could happen. Now, this will be aspecting, Saturn will be aspecting the 6th house, the 2nd house, and the 9th house. Some loss of employment or employees could happen. It's delaying possessions. It's delaying some money or limiting you how much money you can get right now. Could be the banking system. There is an aspecting the 9th house. So there could be some litigation. For some of you, you could have a routine of really developing a spiritual practice in order to gain higher wisdom. There could be that as well, or a delay in the court system. Now, Mars is in the 4th house, which is of country, aspecting the 10th and the 11th and the 7th house. Now, the 4th house is the land of the country. It's the people of the country. It's the population of the country. It's the crops of the land, the mines, the buildings, and it's the opposition of the parliament. It can also indicate weather problems as well. There could be a lot of weather problems, and I mentioned that in my other videos. So it can also affect the government. It can affect the parliament. So there are problems with government. There's problems with the homeland. Mars in the 4th house, we keep seeing this. For a few predictions, I've been seeing this, and that indicates war. That indicates war in countries. And how Mars will be aspecting the 11th house. So yeah, associates and business partners, and the 7th house of business relationships too. So there's a lot of problems with relationships at this time, partnerships and things like that. The Mars and the Venus, there are problems with families, problems with relationships. Now Jupiter is in Revati, and that means that it's at its last little bit, and this is transforming. We're getting a better energy of Jupiter, but it's not 100% because it's right between Saturn and Rahu. So still getting that crunch, but thankfully we have it in the 1st house, which is going to really help optimism that we haven't seen before because it was kind of getting affected. So this is really affecting the mood of the public. The public could be upset, there could be anger, there could be violence and things like that people are angry about that have to do with money and possessions, but we will still be optimistic about it and we will get through it. And so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.